Welcome to Community Conversations. I am Twana James, and today a very special guest is in the house with 22 years of experience serving the city of Fredericksburg. Our guest has seen it all. He started off as a patrol officer in 2003, worked his way through the narcotics and detective divisions, and was promoted to the city's first black police captain in 2023. Now he is campaigning to become the first black sheriff of the city of Fredericksburg. Please welcome Captain Rashawn Cowles.
Thank you,
How
ma'am.
are you, sir?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
It's great to finally meet you in person. You are quite the gentleman, making your way around Fredericksburg, meeting folks and talking and shaking hands.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you excited about this campaign?
I am excited. I'm excited and tired all at the same time.
Yeah, because you're still working.
I am. I'm working full time, trying to finish my master's and be a husband and all those things all at once.
Wow, you want to talk about multitasking. You
Yes,
got it
ma'am.
all.
Yes,
Well, we're
ma'am.
going to jump right into it because people really want to know, what are the biggest challenges that you think are currently facing the Fredericksburg Sheriff's Office, and how do you plan to meet those challenges?
Sure. So I don't really see any challenges. I see an opportunity to stay consistent and continuing to grow the agency, right? I'm in a unique situation because Sheriff Foster has built a good sheriff's department right now. Before him, it was Sheriff Paul Higgs, and they have assembled a great team. And that team is bright. They're smart. They know what they're doing, and they're seasoned. So for me, just staying consistent with what they have going on now is my goal. They achieved state accreditation, which is huge because accreditation in law enforcement is voluntary. You don't have to do it. Yeah. It is the one industry where there is not a standard or a commission that oversees law enforcement. Each law enforcement is different, and that what they really want to focus on and how they want to shape their organization with the policies and procedures. So when you get accreditation, you're saying to your community that we are going to implement the best policies and practices in law enforcement based on this commission. So with the Sheriff's Office, they're VLEPSI, which is Virginia State accredited, and they're going to do their policies and their procedures, and they're making sure that everything that they're doing is the best and the best practices in 21st century policing, which is huge because you're talking about things like recruiting. How do you recruit? Are you recruiting diversity? Are you recruiting at HBCUs? Are you recruiting at women symposiums, things of that nature? How are you reaching out to recruitment? Then use of force, right? How we are applying use of force, but more importantly, how we are reporting use of force, right? Because again, there's no standard. The federal government doesn't say this is how you must report use of force, right? So having good policies in place on how you report use of force and how you are recruiting and things of that nature is important because, you want to do it in this day and age, how we are policing right now, not how we policed back in 1960 or 1929, right?
A time when mental health was not on the forefront like
Correct.
It is today. And that's one of the things I find most intriguing about you is that you are a mental health advocate. Tell us about the plans that you have for a mental health deputy to work at the Rappahannock Area Community Services Board.
So yeah, mental health is huge, not just for the entire country, but specifically here in Fredericksburg. We are the hub for mental health, with RCSB being in our jurisdiction and the main hospital being in our jurisdiction. So a lot of people that have mental health issues end up in the city. So what I want to do, it's not nothing new. The police department had a mental health police officer program where we paired a police officer with a RCSB mental health therapist. Unfortunately, staffing issues came about, and we haven't been able to replace that position. So I'm looking to take it over to the Sheriff's Department because the guy who was doing it, Deputy Bradley Anderson, is at the Sheriff's Office now. He has a lot of training, a lot of experience. He's a pastor, so he brings in that faith-based knowledge. We're going to bring that to the Sheriff's Office and work with RCSB and other community stakeholders that's involved in mental health, so we can, there's an intersection between homelessness, mental health, and crime, right? So if we can, work with these organizations and these individuals in our community to help them get the services that they need when you're dealing with mental health. Hopefully, it'll reduce homelessness and reduce crime. So that's what we're looking to do.
And that definitely, brings about community engagement, people feeling
Correct.
like they're involved in the process. Can you provide specific examples of how you have successfully fostered relationships between law enforcement and the community during your career?
Sure. One of the biggest things I'm really excited and happy about doing was I partnered with the Spotsylvania NAACP, Mo Petway. He's the president out there for that chapter, been there for years. But he reached out to me years ago and it's like, hey, I have this program called Rites of Passage, and we're bringing young black males and we're taking them for a whole weekend and we're teaching them skills that we think that young males should have, like simple things like tying a tie to
Absolutely.
a little bit more complicated things like changing a tire, right? So Mo did a great job with this program. He brought in strong black males from all, areas of walks of life, and he reached out to us and he said, I want the police department to be involved. And so for years we brought those kids over to the police department and we went over health and wellness, being in shape and not being in front of video games all the time, and then we talked about law enforcement and their responsibility if law enforcement comes in contact with them, and also being in law enforcement. Think about it, because as black people, we got to change our perception on law enforcement. We belong in these careers, and we can be effective in these careers. And we got to be changing our attitude about, that's not for us, because it is for us. And we need more black people in law enforcement, because that's how you, again, have those cooperations and those relationships. So you do build trust in those underserved neighborhoods.
Absolutely. Diversity is very important when it comes
Yes,
to
ma'am.
law enforcement. And I understand that one of your goals is to partner with probation services to serve warrants. So tell us about that and how you plan to do this efficiently while minimizing potential conflict.
Sure. So being with the police department for so long, I know that, there's issues with us, getting out and being proactive when it comes to serving warrants. And then probation, they reached out to me last year, and I thought it was kind of telling, because they have an absconder program where people who are on probation are not checking in and not doing what they're supposed to do. And that's important, for the program. So when they're not checking in, they're out there doing whatever they want to do, and that's not good for our communities. And then additionally, having people that not showing up to court when they're supposed to show up to court, that puts a backlog on the court system. So we know that the police department, we usually deal with those stuff as we come along with calls for service. Like if I'm on a traffic stop for someone speeding, I might find somebody that's wanted. We're not necessarily going out doing that proactively, because we're short, right? Staffing is short, and we don't have a warrants division like some of the other bigger agencies. So I plan on having the deputies go out and work with probation, and probation is going to love it, because they are always looking for police officers to go out with them and find they need that support and that collaboration. So that's what I plan on doing, is going after these people who are absconded from probation and who are missing their court dates.
And how will you define and measure the success of your leadership and policies in the first 2 years of your term? What does success look like for you?
So for me, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to each and every deputy, and I want to know what's going right, what's going wrong, and what can we do to make the office better, right? And that's how I'm engaged. It's the morale. If you can retain good people, and they don't all leave because they're like, this is crazy, this guy's changing everything and we don't like it, that's going to be a failure, right? But if I can retain everybody, everyone's happy, the culture's good, and we maintain accreditation, which that process is coming up, because every 4 years you go and you get tested on, if you're going by your policies and procedures. So you get the office achieves accreditation, everyone stays, the culture's good, and I implemented the top two 3 things I want to implement, which is the mental health deputy, working with probation and parole, and just serving more papers as it relates to civil papers, assisting the police department with mental health orders. The police department serves most of those orders right now, and I think the sheriff's department should take a more active role. So hopefully those numbers will go up, and if our numbers go up serving those civil paperwork, mental health orders, then the police department can go back on the street and service to be more proactive for our community.
Well, one thing for sure, you are very interactive. You've been spending Thursdays going out into the community. We've only got a couple of Thursdays left in the month.
Right.
What are you hearing when you're out there in the streets and you're meeting people?
So I'll tell you a funny story. When I went out in January to get petition signatures, that was rough. People didn't want you knocking on their door, and I was really nervous about knocking on the doors for the campaign. But it's been great. The response has been great. We are hearing things like, "I already voted for you. I voted early and I voted for you. I did my research." So we've obviously done some good work, and that makes me feel good because I feel like we put in a lot of hard work over the course of this year. The sheriff and I and the rest of the team, Tabitha Merrill, campaign manager with us, we've been doing, and my wife, I don't want to forget her, but we've been working hard, and it shows up as we're knocking on the doors because people are saying, "Hey, I already know about you. I voted for you," and that's a good feeling as it gets close to the election.
Absolutely, and we are very close, just a few weeks out. You've already made history once. We're going to see if you're going to do it again.
God willing.
Captain Cowles, thank you so much for being
you.
with us on Community Conversations right here on Black Fredericksburg Radio. And I hope you're going to be tuning in.
I will.
To the station.
I will.
Okay.
I will.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.